Alright, what's going on everybody? Norris here, back with another one of these videos here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's doing alright. Summer is about to start. We're approaching May. A lot of good things, but I got a brand new video here for you guys. Another elevator music. This episode here, this isn't gonna be like a song review or an album review. I'm actually gonna do it's kind of like a special type of video here. I made the one video, my top 104 list, greatest rappers of all time, and it did pretty good. I'm really happy to see that. The numbers are really good. I thought I did a pretty good job at listing everybody. I did it with very little time when it came to like the research time, doing my research on every name to like get an idea of where they're from, get an idea of like a special thing about them that I can talk about them, so that you guys can get to know the rapper more, you know what I mean, when I'm going through my list. And on 104, that's a lot of rappers. So you guys can clearly see there is a lot of rappers, not just generally in the world, but there's a lot of great rappers that existed in the world, right, in history. I thought I did a really good job on this list, especially comparing it to other lists I've seen in the past from like the Source magazines. Think of another one, XL, Double XL. They also have a list too. Other rappers and other review sites or review channels through YouTube, like the Needle Drop. I've gone through a lot of different channels and a lot of different lists to kind of like compare my list with their list to see like if I maybe like snubbed a name, or if I maybe put a name too high or too low. You know, like the list mostly came from my own personal knowledge of like what I remembered from each of the rappers that I listed on that list. I would kind of like shape it based off of other lists I've seen, you know what I mean? What I basically did is I took all the names that I've not maybe but like for sure snubbed, and basically made a list out of it. And I wanted to basically give you guys those names just to show you, not just you, but like the hardcore hip-hop fans that follow my channel and follow my music. You guys are gonna really see this, right? Like once I give you guys the names of like who I'm talking about, you're gonna be like, yeah, like obviously, you know what I mean? Like it won't be any surprises, right? Like once I give you guys this list of names, you'll have a clear understanding of why they were snubbed. Like I was saying earlier, like there's so many great rappers, man. You know, so it's not too surprising that I would miss out on like this many names to add to the list. Like, and 104 is a big number. So it's like, and I don't have the best memory too. My memory is pretty bad. It's not too surprising that I missed a lot of these names that I have on this list. And there's a good chance that I'm still missing names, even though I'm gonna give you guys this list here, a list of names that I gathered up here that I feel like I snubbed from my 104 list. Just about snubbed. After giving you this list, this list of names, there's probably still rappers that I'm missing from this main list that I have here, that I can maybe do a deeper search of like what they're about. I'm gonna give them the list right here. This isn't from like best to worst or worst to best. This is like basically a random order of names here. So starting off with T.I., Atlanta, Georgia rapper, pretty famous. He's a little bit of an older rapper, but pretty famous. He's trying to do comedy now, so a lot of you guys know who he is. Especially, he's been on a lot of like TV shows with his like his wife. Forgot her name. Yeah, I thought T.I. was a snub just because of like his crazy career. He had a incredible career with his music. Made a lot of money. Became very famous. Probably one of the most famous rappers to come out of Atlanta. There's a lot of rappers that came out of Atlanta, a lot of rappers, but he's definitely one of the most famous ones. And the reason why I feel like he might have been snubbed off of my list is just, I honestly just think like lyrically he's not at the same level as like everybody I have on my list, on my 104 list. So that's straight up the main reason why I feel like he was snubbed. I mean, like, if I were to extend the list, he would probably be on that list. You know what I mean? Like, if I was to make like a 105 he would probably be the 105. And I can probably say the same thing about every name that I'm gonna list on here. MC Light, another rapper that I feel like I snubbed, from New York City. She's a lot older. She was more about the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. That's when she was more active with her music. Still performing till this day though. She's still doing performances, but I just feel like she's one of those female rappers that I snubbed. She could have easily made the list. I think maybe because I didn't hear enough from her. Maybe I should have did more research about the music that she put out. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard enough music from her, I think. Joyner Lucas. So Joyner Lucas is actually really famous. He's a little bit of a younger rapper, more relevant in today's music. A lot of you guys know who Joyner Lucas is from Worcester, Massachusetts. That's like the Boston area. I feel like I just haven't heard enough from him. He's too much of a new rapper for me to put him in a list full of like super like legendary names that I put on my 104 list. Like when you look at the list, these are guys that like they've been through like decades of putting out great music, you know. Joyner Lucas, he's borderline in that situation, but I feel like he has more to prove before he gets put onto a list like this. So that's all I feel about him. I think he's a great rapper. Reminds me a lot like Eminem. Maybe like Eminem, J. Cole put together, but he could easily make my list, but just he's too new of a rapper, I feel. Joey Badass is another rapper from New York City. With Joey Badass, it's not so much about him not putting enough music out. Like, I've heard a lot of music from him, and I do think he's a really good rapper. Been listening to him since I was younger. The only thing with Joey Badass, I feel like his lyrical skill and his lyrical like style is too much of like it's too soulful and too like R&B-ish. Like I always thought about him as being a rapper that like made R&B music. He's a rapper, you know what I mean? It sounds weird like saying it like that. He has like an R&B mindset when he makes his music, opposed to having like a hip-hop mindset. You know, he doesn't really follow the rap trends too much. He makes his music more poetic and more soulful, which isn't the worst thing ever. But when you compare it to the rappers that I have on my 104 list, I don't want to say boring, but like it makes it too like emotional, you know what I mean? It takes away from the impact of like how hard he can make his punchlines and how like, you know what I mean, compared to like other rappers that I have on my list, you know, where they're just like they're punching you with their lines, you know what I mean? Their lines are lines. He doesn't do that enough in his music for me to put him on this list. So that's the only thing. He would probably be like 106, 107 if I were to extend it, just because of how skilled and talented he is. But that's the main reason why I didn't put him on my list. Action Bronson, another New York City rapper. He's too recent, too new. He hasn't done enough. He's not lyrical enough. I feel like his lines aren't like, they don't come with that punch as much as like everyone else on the list, on my 104 list. And I just, the body of like his discography, it's not, I need to hear more from him. I feel like I need to hear more from him. He's too recent of a rapper to gain that legendary status, you know what I mean? That's old from him, but I think he's a great rapper, and I think he has a cool style. He sounds too much like Ghostface too. Ghostface is my favorite rapper from Wu-Tang, so that could be it too. Danny Brown, another rapper. He's from Detroit, Michigan, but he's one of those rappers where I feel like I really snubbed him. Like, he could have been maybe 105 if I were to extend the list. Yeah, like, I would put him in, like, the 90s, like, to, like, the 100s. If I were to make, like, a re-list, he would probably be, like, at number 100 or something like that, you know? Like, I don't think he's the greatest rapper ever, but he's good enough to make my list. I'll be honest. I'll be true to myself with that one. Danny Brown is probably, like, the main snub out of everybody on my list, you know what I mean? Like, he really belongs on my list, I feel. I'll maybe do like a re-list of 104, or maybe do like a 114 list maybe next year to add a lot of these names that I could add. But that just shows you how many great rappers are in the world, right? There's just so much rappers, man. Another one on my list is Currency. So Currency's from New Orleans, Louisiana, the same city that Lil Wayne is from. And Lil Wayne actually worked with him a bunch of times during his career. Currency, I feel like he was a snub. He's not the most lyrical rapper, but just because of his career, everything he's done to the point of where he's at right now with his, like, he's gotten better at his craft over his career. I definitely seen an improvement from where he started from and where he ended off. He's not the most lyrical rapper, so he's not too much of a snub, especially compared to Danny Brown. I think out of everybody on my list, Danny Brown is like the true snub. Yeah, Currency, he would honestly be like at 107, maybe like 108. Like it's kind of fair that I didn't put him on my list, but he's like an honorable mention. You know what I mean? I have to bring up his name. Definitely respect him. One of my favorite rappers to listen to, even like right now. We got Blue from Blue in Exile. So this might be the biggest snub. I think maybe besides Danny Brown, it's like Danny Brown and Blue. This is a rapper that I grew up listening to. He's actually, so he might be the biggest snub because I think I would actually put him in my top 20. He's a rapper I honestly just forgot, which is really weird because he's probably one of my main influences when it comes to like writing my music. So for me to like snub him is a pretty big deal, you know. Blue he's an incredible rapper, man. Incredible poet from Inglewood, California. So he's a West Coast rapper from California, but doesn't really sound like it. Kind of has like an East Coast style when he raps. Talks about a lot of West Coast like stories, and his referencing will be a very West Coast. He is mostly famous for working with Exile, a producer from, I think, from California. I could be wrong about that, but I think he's from the same area Blue is from. They made a bunch of projects and collaboration albums with each other. The most recent one, I think it's called like Miles or something like that. Yeah, it was 2020. I thought it was 2019, but it was 2020. So during the pandemic. Yeah, man, like I suggest you guys listen to his music. Blue, honestly, I would put him in my top 20, if not my top 15. I really need to do a relist, but he would be in the top 15 or the top 20. That's how good Blue is. The biggest snub besides Danny Brown, absolutely. He influenced me heavily. You know what I mean? Like out of like maybe besides Lupe Fiasco and like MF Doom, Blue is probably the biggest influence for me of how I made my music and how I, like, you know what I mean, got better. I learned a lot from him, so definitely apologize. If some weird reason, Blue, you're watching this video, I apologize, man. I apologize, bro. You should definitely be in my top 15. For some weird reason, I forgot your name, but I don't know why I forgot. Maybe because of how simple his name sounds, because there's a lot of rappers and people named Blue. Could be that, but Blue, the biggest snub, #1 snub off of my list. I would put him in my top 20. Terrible decision to forget his name. Yeah, that's all I have. There's probably other rappers that I'm forgetting that I could put in this video too, but I'll probably remember like when I'm not thinking about it, just like everything else. But like, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I got a brand new song coming out this Saturday. It's coming out this Saturday. The Handshake lines. I'm going to have all information written down, typed out below, so you guys can find out when I'm going to drop it. Well, yeah, it's this Saturday, but more information about all of the social medias that I'm on, my Spotify, my Instagram, everything's going to be down below. Stay tuned for that new song, The Handshake lines, and stay tuned for more content. I'm going to do more album reviews, song reviews, more music videos to come, more songs, more albums, mixtapes, and I'm Looper Norris. Subscribe, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, guys. I'm out of here.